Good evening. Welcome to the evening news. I'm your host for tonight, Catboy Kunhua. In the news, Canadians wrapped up our federal election last night with Liberals hanging on to power with a minority government. Exercising their democratic rights, voters across Canada sent a clear, unambiguous message to Ottawa of, yeah, sure, whatever, Trudeau, I guess. No. Adding, but to that, they were adding, hey, at least he's not the other guy, so there's that, In the meantime, the NDP leader, Jagmeet Singh, put on the biggest celebration of any party whose leader just lost 15 seats in Parliament. The NDP may have lost seats, but they gained influence as a Liberal Party will have to form a coalition with the NDP to gain a 170-seat majority needed to form a government. This is a great deal of good news for Canadians. Great deal of Canadians see this as a good thing, as two parties will have to work together instead of Parliament just being a never-ending pissing contest. Mr. Speaker, I would like to address the floor that my esteemed colleague of the opposition is a great big festering pile of turds wrapped up in expired bacon and old shoe leather. I would also like to imply that his mother is of a promiscuous nature with an overt fondness for barn animals and Burger King. Anywho, speaking of festering turds, last night the populist party known as the People's Party of Canada failed to gain a single seat. Even the party's leader, Maxime Bernier, who already held a seat as he was a member of Bloc Québécois, lost in his own writing. Message from Quebec was Bernier was too racist even by their standards. One of the locals from Bernier's writing was quoted as saying, "We support Bill 21 and oppose immigration, but dear God, this guy goes too far. Have you seen his Twitter account? He's like a French-Canadian Donald Trump. Nobody wants that." Well, now that the campaign is over, Andrew Scheer has to take the role that he had before the elections, and he wants to speak to you about your life insurance options. Also, Premier Doug Ford, who's been keeping a low profile during the federal election, can finally crawl out of his hole and start running the province of Ontario. In pizza news, last week, DiGiorno announced it will now deliver pizza in 2 cities. I think this is going to put a crimp in the company's motto, "It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno." Well, it should make the commercials a lot shorter. They'll say, "It tastes like delivery." Yep. Yes, it does. Yep, yes, it does. All right, now moving into booze news. I got booze news for you. A company called the Glenlivet has released an original whiskey drinking experience. It is a collection of edible cocktail capsules made from seaweed, which are digestible, meaning that when you ingest the alcohol, you don't need a glass or ice or even a cocktail stirrer. This is a real step up from the do-it-yourself home version, sucking gin out of a used Tide Pod. Now, if you're enjoying these fancy new plastic tea bags, unfortunately, I have bad news for you. Researchers have found that a single bag releases around 1.6 billion microplastic particles and a further 3.1 billion even smaller nanoplastic particles in a single cup. One cup. This is bad news for Celestial Seasoning's latest flavor, Thermoset Polyethylene Teleflake Zinger. You know, the worst part of this story is we're eating this stuff all the time, as researchers estimate that humans consume an average of 5 grams of plastic each week. That's the equivalent of a credit card's weight in plastic, which I guess explains the slogan, Capital One, what's stuck in your colon? And the latest we have in tech news. In Massachusetts, a company called Resi invented a self-driving garbage can. This is a can that takes itself to the curb on garbage day. This new device is called a Smart Can, but raccoons refer to them as Uber rides. And that's the way you wish it wasn't. I'm Catboy.
Yeah.